Welcome. This is Grammy Queen, and if you're joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we get excited about love. This is where we ignite that which dwells from within us, that which comes alive, makes us smile, makes us laugh, makes us good. Hence, we say the crimson light is life. So, the crimson light is our journey of actualizing self-love. Of course, crimson is life. It's life, Word, well, talking about sacrifice. That's really self-explanatory, I would say. Okay, so we are about really ensuring that we are opening our third eye. I love the idea of opening our third eye. I know through experience that this has been a new world. It's a new world, but it gives us new responsibilities. And of course, do we shun on responsibilities? No, because we are infinite being. We are strong. We are intuitive. We are intelligent. We are lovely. We are loving. We are giving. We are intuitive. We are rich. We are wealthy. We are abundant. We are. Okay, so I thought it would be a good idea to kind of wrap the past, I think 4, 5 the presentations thereabout. We touched on Matthew, the mathematician, the tax collector, and so on. In fact, I really would like to take time and really study Matthew. Of course, I know I have read all of Matthew, but I mean, I would like to study Matthew, observe him, listen to him, and really pay close attention, because I believe Matthew has so much to share, because everything really now it's proving to be numbers. I mean, look at the matrix. Numbers, numbers, endless. We are numbers. Now, what gets me, I have been twice baptized in Christianity, and I don't really wish to be spoon-fed, but I don't recall anyone much making reference to the book of Numbers. Okay, perhaps it's not very juicy in soaps and operas, I don't know, but I am believing that if there is a book in the Bible called Numbers, devoted to numbers, and actually I have seen it, which I will make reference and find that text that said, and God called them, or whoever called them, by their number, the number of their name. There was numbers, and you see numbers are made reference to. When this one begat, that one begat, that one begat, it's all about numbers. There's another thing I discovered about that begat business. These people were so clever, so intelligent. The minds that really put that book, especially that King James Version, together. Hollywood has nothing on them. Nothing at all. At all. But I love the idea of understanding how certain things evolve, because in fact, a couple of weeks ago, I went for lunch. I had this lovely couple. I call them my favorite couple. They're so loving, I feel so much love and joy when I'm with them, and they had this wonderful spread for me. Of course, we all come from St. Lucia. I'm born in Britain. I'm British, but I kind of really refer to St. Lucia as home as well, because I grew up there in my formative years and so on, and I know the culture very much, and I love it too. So I can relate to both worlds, if you like. That's the point I'm making. So we were talking and having this chat around the table. This is what I mean about things really coming. When you sit at a table, anything can happen, because it's like a menu, recipes of conversations, recipes of juice, and all sorts of things happening. Okay, so there it was. we were talking, there was the courthouse, and she was giving me this story about, being a child. We could actually go to the gallery, and people can still do that too, and you listen to the court cases that are taking place. But of course, in a place of no television, that was soap. That was how I got the distinct impression that the court cases were really things that derive from the need to be entertained. To be entertained. And when one would say, "But Your Honor," and you heard, "You speak when you are spoken to," and it was, in fact, and the fun. Of course, I shared my experience too. So this just to give you a taste of the kind of things that would happen in those cases. And the minds, they were very intelligent people. So there was a couple who didn't, well, one individual who didn't like a couple so much, who was walking their two dogs. The couple was walking their two dogs. And when they made connection past each other, that individual, the man, say his name was Eric said to the couple, he just uttered, "Two dogs strolling, two dogs." So in those days, you could sue someone for that. You could sue someone for spitting on the ground, because of course we still have that British law. You're not allowed to spit. Of course, who pays attention to, especially in a hot country? You spit, the sun dries it. No evidence. How you gonna get the evidence? But that was really all a part of wanting to be entertained. So Eric said, "Two dogs strolling, two dogs." So the couple sued him, and they said in the day of court, he said, he was asked, "Mr. Eric Blair, are you pleading guilty or not guilty?" He said, "Not guilty, Your Honor." "So are you saying that you did not say two dogs are strolling, two dogs?" He said, "Yes, I did say two dogs strolling, two dogs." So the magistrate said, "Well, why is it that you're not pleading guilty?" He says, "Because I am not guilty, Your Honor." Well, you can imagine this was going on for a while. Then, when he was given the opportunity to he says, "Well, explain yourself." He said, Blair said, "Your Honor, I said two dogs strolling, and for emphasis, I said two dogs." That's wisdom, and that's what Proverbs in the King James Bible is about. Yes, wisdom. It is called wisdom. In fact, I checked out the definition for wise. It's kind of something like, it might have gone under that 2 column. Let's quickly do the numerical value for wise, because that would give us an insight of exactly what I'm talking about. So the word wise, W-I-S-E, this is 5195. Remember what I said about when 5 and 9 get together. Secrets go between these two, because this is where that new comes in. There is an agreement there as well. It's like saying, "I'm gonna take you to the new." But that's why it is called New Street. But you're gonna have to go on Fox Street. Perhaps that's why there's 4th Street. You're going to need to do that on your own. So anyway, back to this. We have 10 and 5 and 5, 10. And there's the thing with wise. There is, oh, you need to see this. So there is 5 on one end and 5 on the other. Now, I always feel when there's a word that has the same numerical value on either ends, that is tight. That is tight. And tight means you are doing bucket and basket. There is an agreement. And I just spot something. That's what I mean. I am loving this side. So wise, what's in the middle of wise is is. This is in the middle of wise. And what's on the two sides is we. Now that's what I love about numerology. Because you can discover things about numerology, not about just numerology. You can discover things about yourself, which is what we are about. Discovering who we are, our makeup, why we're using is, we's, we is, and we call it wise. There are two aspects in the four-letter word. Can you imagine? IS. Now, IS is 10, and that is already saying that this is neutral. Remember, I have done the 10. This is heaven, it is Satan, it is hell, it is all of those things that 10 represents. It is what it is, like you would hear. And we comes under the same thing, 10 again, 5 and 5. But these fives, Isn't that delicious? So there that man, Eric Blair, was saying, yes, he said, and until he knew about agreement. He was a wise man. He probably knew about numerology too, and he said, I said, two dogs strolling. And for emphasis, I said, two dogs. So, in actual fact, I said, two dogs strolling, two dogs. Well, case dismissed. Now, that was the sort of theater. That was the sort of Shakespearean, play that was happening in those days. And everything has its seed. So whatever is happening now that is escalating, that's the sort of seed it had. And that's why I am also concerned about sacrifice. How much? Because we hear about people, doing all sorts of things through sacrifice. The seed of sacrifice. I believe the seed of sacrifice had its good. I also believe that Christ also knew that there was the other aspect that could go either way. So Christ was really handing a manual. Oh my. That's why his name was Emmanuel. His job was to give us the manual. So the manual just gives you everything, and you go in there depending what you want to do. You flick through your pages, you look at the signs, the instructions, and often we do not want to follow instructions. We just take a glance of it and think, I've got it. And that is what has happened. Emmanuel, that reminds me, that's another story, another episode that we must follow up. The names of Christ. That is so interesting, because I was reading something and I thought, oh, he shall be called Emmanuel. And when it came to calling him, oh, his name is Jesus Christ or something. Whereas they were given instructions that his name should be called Emmanuel. And that wasn't a few verses down. No, it's another name. So this book that we call, in fact, I've got to do a presentation just on the title of the Holy Bible. That is just, it's a knockout. This is what I mean. When your eyes are open eyes, everything comes alive. And remember, alive is 5. It puts you on that middle spectrum. And there is no lie. Well, there is. I was going to say there is no lie in alive, but there is. L-I-E. Are we going to escape anything at all? Are we? Okay, perhaps a lie is not a big deal as we think. Okay, I leave you with this, all right? In the meantime, I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you have found it beneficial. I hope that you have really found some sort of inspiration and make sense of this. So, in the meantime, stay, well, be filled. Let's say, be filled. Be filled, right? And it's the 1 2 1 2 repetition, repetition, repetition. So be filled, be filled, be filled, right? And stay bright because we are moving over to the right. Yes, and stay ignited. Namaste. Bless you. That's the bless. The bless has less in it. So let's stick back to the be filled. Be filled, be filled. Filled with love, filled with courage, filled with wisdom, filled with essence, filled with beauty, filled with goodness, filled with good intention, filled with intuition, filled with intelligence, and just be filled. Be filled. Do your honey thing, and just be filled. Okay, and see you soon. All right. So, of course, share, like, and subscribe because this is how we do it. We share to actualize it. Self-full love.